Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Wow, it's the end of the week already. We've had quite a bit of price action over here in Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Pretty much all of the altcoins taking the fall with Bitcoin. So, in this video, we're going to take a look at what's going on with the price action. I didn't make a video yesterday because we were still just stuck in this range. I really wanted something to happen. I posted this over here on my Twitter. I want to wait for some price action before recording. My opinions and views remain the same as yesterday, so I'm going to run some errands. If we get a big move, then I'll catch you later. Pretty much price remained there all day till the evening time, then it finally did start to make a move down. So we're going to talk about what's going on here with Bitcoin. I know a lot of people are asking me to cover individual altcoins. I know on this channel we primarily talk about XRP, but at this point right now, the whole market is moving back. We've seen this in each market cycle that when Bitcoin has this initial sell-off prior to the top of Bitcoin coming in. So it's not my opinion that this is the actual top of Bitcoin, but this is our first sell-off prior to the top of Bitcoin. That well, the altcoins pull back with it. So really all eyes are going to be on Bitcoin right now for it to finish up this correction phase before it goes on to continue setting new highs. So looking at each individual altcoin right now, I just don't really see a point to it, and that's just me being. I can create content about it all we want about each individual altcoin. Just in general, I'm looking at the whole cryptocurrency market, the altcoin market. We all have to wait on what Bitcoin's going to do in here. So over this past week, I've been trying to present the different corrective structures that we could see. In the end, my opinion is that we will be coming back down here to at least into the $38,000. That's really my primary zone. It could come down much lower than that. It could come down here into this region, but I've been trying to show you different structures on which it could get there. And well, I saw a tweet over on my Twitter yesterday, and somebody said something along the lines of, I sure hope you're right, man. Today I could have been making so much money. And essentially, they probably sold down here. They watched this, and then, shortly, a couple hours after their tweet was made, the market turned over and rolled over on itself. So I'm sure they're happy that they did whatever they did. But in the end, I have a much bigger picture here in the cryptocurrency market. I am not sitting here day trading. This is not a trade call channel. This is me looking at this market from a very big perspective. I'm here for large market cycles. I do not care what happens about 5-10% in a range. I'm here for thousands of percents. I've always been like that. I'm not sitting here day trading. So if you need somebody to babysit you and do 5 to 10% trades with you, then you need to find a different channel to go to, because that's not what this is. We're looking at the market from a very big perspective, which requires having a bigger time preference, requires being patient and having to sit through pain sometimes. And so I wanted to show you even another corrective structure that would, at the same time, for those types of people who are sitting there saying 5% here, 10% there, every percent matters at every minute. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart, how that pain could still continue to be inflicted on those who are still second guessing themselves. Because here, I'm going to put us on a shorter term time frame, and I'm going to show you exactly how this played out. For those who have been around with this channel for a long time, you know that I love the 702 Fibonacci retracement. Let's take a look at how this thing has fallen down to here. Does this just look like chaos to you on its way down, or is there actual structure happening here? Well, here we go. Here's our top right here at 58,300, 58,400. Our first initial fall from right there all the way down to 47,000. Where does it retrace to? Boom, right on the 702 perfectly. So after that retracement to right here, what does our next fall do? We fall from 55,000 all the way down to 44,800. Where do we retrace to? 702. Once again, the exact same retracement level, and then we start moving our way down. So I know I talk about that 702 quite frequently, but you can see how they completely work in a downtrend. So if you've ever watched my channel and you see me get excited about saying, hey, we've passed the 702, or if you see me on Twitter posting, hey, Bitcoin has crossed above the 702, now you can kind of get an idea on why that is. You could see that a fall, a retracement back to the 702. If it can't clear it, sometimes it'll turn on itself and head back down to the downside. And in this downtrend that we have right now, it has now done it twice already. But in general, we're trying to figure out now, what's the structure going to look like? I've showed you what it looks like in an ABC correction if we're going to be heading way back down here. I've showed you what it looked like during like the March sell-off that happened in the stock market. But in the end, I don't know which one it's going to do. In the end, my opinion is the price will get down here one way or another. The thing is, everybody wants to know how long. What's the time frame we're looking at? What's it going to look like exactly on the chart? chart, I don't know the answer. I can only present what I think it can look like. But in the end, my opinion will remain that one way or another, it's going to get down into that price level. So I revert back to that tweet that happened yesterday where they said, hey, you hope you're right, man, because I could have been making serious gains today. And then, the market turned on itself. It's going to washing machine you. I call it a washing machine when it's just bouncing around in a range and people are constantly second guessing what they're doing. But let's just draw different ABC structures, right? What if it actually did something along the lines like this? And we said, okay, well, we're just kind of creating a left shoulder over here. I'm getting ready to create the big head that's going to come back. What could we see happen over here? Well, you could see it actually just retrace up like this. Would this make any sense for it to do this? And then pull back and then down it goes. Yeah, we could get ourselves a nice little 702 retracement up to here, which would then mean that we have an A, B, C correction. But if the price of Bitcoin got up there to $54,000 and a bunch of people sold out of it in the 40s, they're going to be a little worried. Alternatively, we could take all of that off the screen and just say, hey, you know what? This is a zigzag correction. It's going to do exactly like it has before. And we're just going to be having an equal length zigzag down, gets us right back down into the range. It's perfect, right? I don't know. I wish I had the answer for you. I wish I could tell you exactly which one it's going to do. I don't know if it's going to end up washing machine in us and going back to that 702 retracement to retrace back to 54,000 before turning on itself and creating a big fat C leg heading down into the 38,000s, or if it's just going to go straight there right now. I think we would all be happy with it just kind of going right now. At least my opinion is, because I'm kind of tired of waiting like most people. But the thing is, I have the ability to wait. I held on to my Bitcoin for years. The decision that I made to sell my Bitcoin was not an impulsive decision. That was a pre-planned decision that I made a very long time ago. And I even outlined that on bcbacker.com, saying that I would do that a long time ago. And then in my updates, continuing to say I would do that. And then when the time came, I did it. So it was not an impulsive decision. It was a well-planned and prepared decision. And as Bitcoin is pulling back in here, I'm not going to be getting back into Bitcoin with those funds. I'm completely moving into the altcoins because my opinion is that we're now going to be having ourselves an alt season once this correction is done. So we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully it just happens over the weekend. We can get it over with and we can get back to the good times. I think we could all do that. And not only that, like good times, not just for Bitcoin, but I think the altcoin holders in themselves are just sick of it at this point. It's time for us to get our opportunity. And I do believe it will come after we do get this dip. What's funny about this too is, first of all, I'm not huge on head and shoulders patterns. I don't really like to do them very often at all because, believe it or not, most times than not, they don't end up playing out. So that's why I don't ever revert back to them. And as a matter of fact, you rarely see me ever use trend lines on my channel as well. I don't really like them much either. But if we did get something like that along the lines of playing out, right, you would say, well, how big of a move would this be, right? So you see something that looks along the lines like this, you head back down into here, you roll your way up, roll your way down, and then after you break through here, you measure how far up can you go based on the length of the head. So if we got something like that, you'd measure this head up to the, and we don't know where it would land in here, right? So maybe somewhere around right there, and you take this and shift it on over to here. Where does this get you to? It gets you right up there to $73,000, which is a very likely top for me for Bitcoin, is that $73,000. So early structures look pretty good that could be what's happening here. So hopefully we get the move down quickly. I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready to turn back into bull guy. I don't really like coming on this channel telling you that we're going down. I also don't really like being in active trades, and I'm in an active trade right now, and it's driving me nuts. I don't like doing any kind of day trading. It drives me nuts that I'm sitting here with some US dollars still waiting. Drives me mad. I'd like to actually just be the guy who's just holding on. And that's the keys to success in this market, is having a plan way ahead of time to know what you're going to do when the big decisions do come, and holding on for dear life. Holding on for dear life is so critical in this market. The people second guessing themselves inside of ranges and making decisions all in, all out, making trades here and there, not knowing what they're doing, second guessing themselves. Those are the people that Unfortunately, I'm going to be the one taking your money at the end of the day, because those people who second guess themselves, those people who are emotionally driven, they're the people who buy tops, and that's what we just witnessed happen. We watched extreme emotions come in, extreme excitement happen up here, and wild narratives happen, and lots of people buy the tops. I don't think people really recognize how irrational these prices are up in here. $58,000 for a Bitcoin. That number, we disconnect ourselves from that so much to not recognize that these numbers are outrageously high right now. But the keys to success are holding on for dear life and then having a plan. And eventually, I know it's a pop culture right now to be diamond hands, and diamond hands is essentially just holding on for dear life. You're a hodler, right? It's kind of just got a better term to it. Diamond hands versus hodlers. I think the diamond hand sounds a little bit cooler. But that essentially is what hodling is. But the people who eventually win are the people who have to turn into those paper hands. The paper hands people win. So don't forget that. Don't be ashamed to become paper hands. Paper hands means you get to log into your bank account and be happy with it. It means you get to pay all of your bills. It may mean that you get a lot of nice new things. So don't be ashamed to be paper hands. Just don't be, bouncing around between paper hands, diamond hands, paper hands, diamond hands. Be one or the other when the time comes. As for me, right? So I talk about this, 95%, at least at this point, over 95% of my portfolio is in this market right now. I just have some Bitcoin sell money, but for the most part, I'm long this money. I'm long this market, right? My portfolio is getting damaged right here along with all of this stuff. I'm not day trading all this. I'm totally playing the big market cycles because I'm a hodler. I'm diamond hands on most of my portfolio. The selling that I've done in Bitcoin has absolutely nothing to do with nailing a trade perfectly, selling the top, buying the bottom. It is a completely specific time in this market cycle that we're in right now, where for me personally, it's time to completely get out of Bitcoin and time to get into the altcoins. I had outlined this on bcbacker.com back in August of last year. I guess the course was released on September 1st of last year, to which I disclosed in there that 20% of my portfolio was Bitcoin and 80% of it was in the altcoins. And the only reason I actually held any Bitcoin was not because I thought Bitcoin was the next big thing. Bitcoin's going to change the world. The only reason I held on to any Bitcoin was specifically in case this happened. It was an insurance policy against Bitcoin being the first one to go. And if Bitcoin was the first one to go and it got up here into the 50,000s, I would then sell off my Bitcoin and rotate it into the altcoins, because then it's going to be time for alt season. So me getting out of here at this time is not some perfect day trade that I'm doing right here. This is a very specific time in the market cycle to where I am exiting Bitcoin, getting all of those funds out of there and jamming them into the altcoins for the alt season. So today was more of just kind of a talk, if anything, but I did also want to show you how the washing machine can work. I just wanted to show you those 702 Fibonacci retracements, and that, well, it's still possible that the ABC of a 702 retracement could even happen to $55,000, and it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would change with my target still being down there in that 38,000 area for that total market cap to pull back as well, back into the double tap. So if you missed the double tap talk that I did on Wednesday, it's the video prior to this one. I would go check that one out as well. But otherwise, the name of this game is patience, and that's what I've got lots of. And realistically, from the big market cycle perspective, a lot of those altcoins are really, really cheap right now. Really cheap. But okay, we'll wrap this up. I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. If the price does get down there below $40,000, I will release another video throughout the weekend. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waiting game. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. You can catch me on Twitter over there. I'll be posting stuff throughout the weekend at bcbacker. And then if you're looking for something else to do, of course, you could check out my website over here, which is bcbacker.com. Got a ton of videos on here where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the different altcoin market cycles, tying all that information together from what we've learned from the past. I talk about my different exit plans on here. I talk a lot about mathematics and rotating and percentages and all that good stuff. You can check this out over here on bcbacker.com. And like I just mentioned, follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And once again, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. So take care. That's it. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.